You know, a man once said, "I'm not afraid of death, I just don't want to be there when it happens." Well, I hate to break it to you, but we all got a ticket for that show. Now don't get all gloomy on me. We are not here to mourn, but to understand. We're going to delve into the big question. Why do we all have to die? It might sound a bit morbid, but hey, it's also fascinating. Dive into this mystery from several different perspectives. We'll look at biological imperatives, the evolutionary perspective, resource limitations, genetic and cellular limitations, philosophical and spiritual beliefs, cultural perspectives, and scientific research. One offers a unique lens to view this inevitable part of life. Let's get ready to face the music, maybe even find a reason to laugh along the way. Buckle up, folks, because we're going on a journey to explore why everyone has to die. First off, our bodies are like cars. They're great when they're new, but as time passes, parts start to break down. And unlike cars, we can't just replace our parts. Imagine going on a long road trip with no mechanic in sight, and your spare tire is a jelly donut. Not quite the same support, huh? Biological mechanisms are a marvel. Don't get me wrong, but they're designed with a built-in expiration date. As we age, cells stop dividing, tissues wear out, and systems go haywire. It's like a party that's been going on too long, and the cleanup crew called it quits. Then there's disease, the uninvited guest who crashes the party and causes a ruckus. From pesky colds to more serious conditions, our bodies are constantly fighting off invaders. It's a wild, wild west in there. Yeah, biology is kind of a downer, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Now, if you're thinking, why would evolution do this to us? Well, evolution is like that friend who doesn't really care about your plans. Indeed, evolution is not a kindly designer with our best interest at heart. Rather, it's a relentless force of nature that only cares about one thing: survival of the species. Here's the kicker: death is part of that survival strategy. You see, death allows for genetic diversity. Imagine if the first fish that sprouted legs decided, hey, this walking thing is pretty neat, I'm not gonna die and let my offspring take over. We'd still be stuck in the ocean. Passing on our genes and then stepping aside, we make room for new combinations, new variations. This constant turnover keeps the species adaptable, able to take on whatever challenges the world throws at us. So when you think about it, our mortality is evolution's way of hedging its bets against an unpredictable future. Thanks, evolution, for keeping things interesting. Imagine you're at an all-you-can-eat place, but there's only enough food for everyone to get one plate. That's life on Earth in a nutshell. Our planet is a vast yet finite buffet. It offers a variety of resources: food, water, shelter, you name it. But here's the catch: the supply is limited. It's like being at a party where the pizza delivery guy only brought enough for each guest to have one slice. So what happens when the guests' appetites are larger than their allotted slice? They end up fighting over the last piece, right? Well, exactly what happens in nature. Animals, including us humans, compete for these limited resources. From ants battling for a piece of sugar to mighty lions fighting for territory, it's a constant struggle for survival. The ones who can't keep up, unfortunately, don't make it. It's harsh, but it's the reality of living in a world of limited resources and unlimited wants. So please, guys, always leave some buffet for the rest of us. You know how your phone battery starts to die faster as it gets older? Yeah, our cells are kind of like that. Now, let's dive into the microscopic world of our cells. They're not always the loyal soldiers we'd like them to be. Over time, they accumulate damage, especially in our DNA. This damage is like a glitch in the biological blueprint, causing cells to behave abnormally. There's cellular senescence, a fancy term for when cells enter a state of permanent sleep. It's like they've decided to retire without your consent. These idle cells can't do their jobs anymore, leading to aging and eventually death. Hey, it's not all doom and gloom. These cellular limitations opens up avenues for research and potential interventions. It's like a never-ending battle against time, with our cells on the front line. Take care of your cells, my friends. They are the only ones you've got. Now, some people believe there's a bigger reason for death. Like, maybe we're all just characters in a cosmic video game and death is just the end of the level. And spirituality have been grappling with the question of death for millennia. They're like two kids in a sandbox, endlessly building and knocking down sandcastles of thought. The philosophical side argues, what if death is nothing more than a transformation, a change of state, like ice melting into water? This is a popular view in many Eastern philosophies, where death is seen as a transition into another form of existence. There's the spiritual angle, which often posits the idea of an afterlife or reincarnation. It's like getting a do-over in that cosmic video game, only this time you're a turtle instead of a human. Or maybe you level up to an eagle, who knows? The point is, these beliefs see death not as an end, but as a new beginning, a fresh start. Let's not forget our existentialist friends. They're the ones in the corner, sipping black coffee and arguing that death is the ultimate freedom. Like hitting the quit game button. No more quests, no more power-ups, just sweet oblivion. It's a sobering thought, but it's one that many find liberating. Then there are those who believe that death is a sort of graduation ceremony. Learned all your lessons, completed all your tasks, and now it's time to move on to the next level of existence, like finishing a particularly tough level in our cosmic video game and getting ready for the next challenge. Then there are the skeptics, the materialists, the ones who believe that when the game's over, it's just over. No extra lives, no bonus rounds, just the eternal sleep mode. It's a stark view, but it's one that many find comforting in its simplicity. Whether you believe in reincarnation, heaven, or just turning off the game, it's all part of the mystery of death. Around the world, cultures have different ways of dealing with death. Some throw a party, some mourn, some just say, better luck next time. Let's take a whirl around the globe, shall we? In Mexico, they have the Day of the Dead, a vibrant celebration with lots of marigolds and sugar skulls. It's like a Mardi Gras for mortality. Then there's the Tibetan practice of sky burial, where bodies are left for vultures as a final act of charity. Talk about recycling. Meanwhile, in the Madagascar highlands, folks engage in a joyous dance with the bones of their ancestors in a tradition known as Famadihana. It's like a family reunion, only the guests of honor are a tad bit more skeletal. These diverse perspectives on death remind us that while it may be a universal experience, the interpretations are as varied as the cultures they originate from. So remember, when it comes to death, it's not one size fits all. Finally, let's talk about what science has to say about death. Spoiler alert, it's not all doom and gloom. The field of gerontology, for instance, is dedicated to understanding the process of aging and how to slow it down. Research in this field has led to discoveries like telomerase, an enzyme that can potentially extend the life of cells. Then there's the field of cryonics, the science of using ultra-cold temperatures to preserve life, with the hope that future medical technology could restore that life. It's a bit like the ultimate snooze button. Even more fascinating is the research into biogerontology. This branch of science is focused on the biological reasons for aging and death. And it's here we find scientists tinkering with genes and cells to extend lifespans. While death may be inevitable, science is always working to give us a few more turns on the ride. So we went through these 7 perspectives on why we all have to die. From the biological standpoint, we're simply not designed for immortality. Evolution, too, plays its part, nudging species towards change and diversity, not eternal life. Then there's the harsh reality of resource limitations. The planet, unfortunately, isn't an all-you-can-eat buffet, a cellular level. Our own bodies have their inbuilt expiration dates, thanks to genetic and cellular limitations. While some may find comfort in philosophical and spiritual beliefs, viewing death as a natural part of life or a transition to another existence, culturally, death is perceived differently across the world, reflecting the diversity of human experience. And finally, scientific research provides us with in-depth understanding of death and aging, attempting to extend life and improve its quality. Now here's a thought to leave you with. How do you view death? Is it a natural part of life, a problem to be solved, or something else entirely? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Well, that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the mystery of death. I want to express my gratitude for you taking the time to watch this video, and I hope it sparked some thought-provoking discussions or introspection. If you found this content interesting and want to continue exploring and learning with us, please do consider subscribing to our channel. We have a lot more fascinating content lined up for you. Remember, life's a journey, not a destination. So keep exploring, keep learning, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, stay fascinated.